Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he did it again.
I think I say Jesus Christ every time, too.
Yeah, you're going to get the...
Say something next time.
the
You want to get the religious crowd.
The religious... No, they're going to be mad. They're going to be like...
I said
You
Jesus
said
Christ.
it in vain.
I didn't... how did I say it in vain?
You were angry.
So were the guys that fucking nailed him to a cross when they were saying Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Because Movies. On this episode...
We're nailing Jesus.
No, Shadow in the Clouds.
Speaking of Jesus Christ. Oh, all right. Let me get my notes on this goddamn show. All right. You go. Fuck.
You going to just interject when I get to there?
This movie is a lesson in how to take a 10-minute story idea and stretch it into an hour and a half. That's
yes,
my first
I
note.
agree.
All right. So
You could say that about a lot of movies that are good and bad.
right out of the gate, for anyone that might be surprised, and this is something I wanted to say. So we've done this, 40 times? How many times have we done this? Like 50 times, whatever.
We don't count numbers now.
It's, I
think we're
so
at
I
30.
started watching this movie and I sent you a message. This is a dumb movie. And you were like, what a big fucking surprise. You don't like a movie. And it is a rarity for us to pick something. And I'm like, yeah, that was all right. That was all right.
No, it's a rarity for you to like a movie.
It's true. I'm
You're
very,
just like always angry at the
very
screen.
specific with the movies that I
You
enjoy.
love. Okay, this is the funny part. Rob, his entire life is movies. He loves movies, yet he hates every movie.
Yeah, but I usually hate the majority of movies. There's like a fine few that I'm like, these are masterpieces. And then the overwhelming majority I'm like, is garbage.
You would make for a good critic. Those ones that I get mad at because they're not casual critics. They're just like
They're so
hoity-toity.
uber specific.
Did you go to the screening room and watch La Gentile Fille?
Right?
And
It was Herzog's best work since La Guerre. You're like, shut the I hate, those are movie snobs. Fuck, I hate movie snobs. And I never want to be.
You are one.
No, I'm not. I like, movie snobs are like, they fucking, they won't watch Marvel because that's beneath them.
Yeah.
You know,
you'll
like
watch
that's,
everything, but you'll hate them.
Also, the movie snobs are the guys that like, do you know what my favorite part was about Marvel's Infinity War? The theme of knowing death. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
We're watching a movie about a big fucking grimace that wants to destroy half the world or half the fucking universe.
Yeah.
Like,
just get into it. Enjoy it.
just enjoy it.
Sit on the arches and enjoy yourself.
Speaking of movies I couldn't enjoy, though, this fucking, what's it called?
Is it
I got a
McDonald's?
voicemail. No. Cameron Crowe in the crowd. What's this called? Shadow in the Clouds. Cameron Crowe in the Clouds. Yeah, so I
Shadow
All right.
in the Clouds.
Shadow in the, it just so right out of the gate, she gets on, and I like movies. One thing about this movie that followed a structure I do like is movies that
Attractive woman.
what?
Attractive woman.
See, I don't know if she's for me.
Oh, yeah. Mm,
I don't know. She's you know why?
More so with the accent.
She reminds me of when I see her, I see Hit Girl.
I thought you were going to say Hitler.
Hitler.
I'm like,
Can you ever see Chloe Grace Moretz as Hitler? I'm on this plane. Hold my bag.
Hitler in the clouds.
Oh,
God.
that's fucking terrible.
What is wrong with
But
us?
no, all I see is Hit Girl, and they really sexualized Hit Girl because she's in a tight out, and she's. I see Hit Girl whenever I see Chloe Grace Moretz. So yes, she is attractive.
I can't remember
but
Hit Girl.
she's from Kick-Ass, right? She's the younger girl in Kick-Ass who's dressed up in Nick Cage as her father.
Oh.
That's who I see when I see her because it's played by Chloe Grace Moretz. So I have a hard time getting past that. She's an attractive girl.
She's old enough now, Rob.
Yeah, but she's blonde. I'm not big on blondes. And also, she's an adequate actress. I wouldn't call
Hence
her a
our
great,
last episode.
right? See,
Yeah.
blondes aren't a bit. That's why Captain Carter gave me a huge boner because she's boner. I couldn't get. That was a hard word to get out for
Hitler
me.
in the Clouds.
Hitler in the Clouds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like that. Like when stuff unfolds, you're like, oh, cool. That's a new thing. Oh, neat. Because it's interesting to watch it like that. You can hear the water rushing all through
I'm
the
sure they
house.
didn't hear it.
Well, we say it. And maybe they will. Now, just imagine it.
No, they're gonna listen really close.
Listen close.
Go back.
I can hear his wife
Go
talking.
back.
I can hear his wife
ASMR.
packing upstairs to run out the door.
Welcome to Because Movies.
Yeah, because movies.
This is the sound of my finger going into my ear.
You said ear, right?
Yeah. Podcast viewers,
They can't see. They say,
blind people.
they think this is. Everybody thinks this is a podcast about Jesus and Hitler
And blind people,
and blind people
because
sticking their fingers
movies
in their asses.
for the blind.
Movies for the blind. That'd be a book.
So,
Yeah, I like the way it unfolds. I don't like the way this movie unfolds, but I like the way movies like this unfold, where kind of new interesting things happen all the time. Also, it was a rip off the Twilight Zone episode for the first part of it,
yeah,
which
you
is
said
funny.
that. I don't watch.
Which
Twilight
is
Zone.
funny because it was written by Max Landis, and we'll talk about why that guy's a douchebag at the end of this. Max Landis' father, John Landis, directed the Twilight Zone movie, which Twilight Zone from the 1960s episode with William Shatner. So something you know if you're a big movie snob like me. But no,
8 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
6 Degrees. Of
I
Kevin
don't
Bacon.
know. That was close enough.
Let
me have that one.
One thing, very obvious, they made this movie during the pandemic. You could tell by how few people there were and how she was by herself a lot, and that was something that was noticed.
This was definitely very close to being the one person act type thing.
Yeah, and she held her own for the most part. So not terrible, but it wasn't for me. I have some notes more specifically about stuff that happens in the movie.
Okay, you
So-
can interject then.
Yeah.
I will say that I absolutely adored this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun,
It was fun. I'll give it that.
and she's attractive.
Nope. You know, she was in the Tom and Jerry movie, the new Tom and Jerry movie that went out. She's kind of the main cast member in that. Tom and Jerry are in it.
I will never watch Tom and Jerry. I know we
Chloe
have
Grace
kids.
Moretz is in it.
I understand we have kids, and
Also,
that's
she was
probably
in
how
the
you
remake
know.
of Carrie, which was bullshit. Because Carrie's supposed to be kind of an ugly, kind of creepy girl.
In August of 1943, pilot officer Maud Garrett, a female flight
That's a name.
It's a horrible name. Don't name your kids Maud.
I knew someone named.
It's an
Maud.
old school name, but
didn't
it's
know her, but-
1943.
Yeah, she was from the 40s.
A female flight officer is assigned to travel with top secret package from Auckland, New Zealand to Samoa. When she arrives at the airbase, she sees a ground crew ramp worker disappear before her eyes. Just before suddenly finding herself standing right in front of her transport, a B-17 bomber called the Fool's Errand.
Which, so the opening, I was like, I wonder if this will be kind of like all in her head.
That's
or
what I was
kinda-
thinking too, yes.
Yeah, like a little crazy. So I was like, all right, I'm on board for
They're
this. if
set
this
in
is
the thing,
direction
but then
it
they
goes
never
in.
go back to that,
Nope.
really.
And I think that's
And
indicative.
throughout
Of,
the movie, it kind of feels that way too.
it feels like it's going one direction, and then it fucking like hairpin turn into a totally different direction. I
To
think
a
that
more casual direction. They could have gone this route and made it a little bit more
Yep.
interesting.
I think that has to do, but we'll talk about this at the end as to who wrote it.
Okay. The bomber's crew gives her a mostly derisive
Derisive.
welcome. I didn't write this.
Also, it was very
Derisive.
like what's the right word? Like,
Sexist.
but not sexist,
Rapey.
but like very.
Like she had to be worried
you
that the
had
crew
to
was going to
know-
rape her during the sky.
You say to
the
yourself,
sky.
are these guys the bad guys? And they're like, "Oi, I like the ass. I like the fucker." You're like, "Oh God."
But
okay,
then
I
you
guess these are the
understand
bad guys.
that's the time.
No, I get that, but it was so what's the right word? Fuck. It's right on the tip of my tongue. They were paper thin. The characters were paper thin. There wasn't any
Yeah, it was
meat to
very
them.
stereotypical
Stereotype. Yeah, yeah.
in different ways.
I just found that kind of, well, this is kind of stupid. But I get it that we're just trying to quickly show you how these guys are to get this story rolling. It just felt so kind of, oh Jesus Christ! Like there was a whole part where she's in the bubble, the gun bubble, and the turret, the gun bubble, and she can hear them talking about above her on
get
the
that,
radio,
yeah.
and it's just like a fucking minute and a half. And again, this comes back to who wrote it, of just straight derogatory chauvinist shit that these guys are saying,
Which
and
is good.
I just
Not good as in like it's not good that people say that, but it's good as in like it's setting a tone.
it just felt too long and too we get it.
I was
We
wondering
get
if
it.
this was going into horror movie territory.
where they're going to try to like attack her from down in
Yeah,
the
it's like
turret.
her against the rest of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Are you almost fucking done already? I do most of the goddamn talking on this
I'm a
fucking
big guy
show.
with a giant bladder. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, staring at your penis.
Oh, okay. How would I be almost done?
It's getting flaccid. Viagra's wearing off.
It goes through me quick.
That's what your wife
Oh
says.
my god. Oh yeah, it's
Thinking about Chloe Grace Moretz, that's what happens.
no, the opposite. And she is quartered in the Sperry Ball turret.
Yeah. It
For
was
the
interesting to
takeoff.
hear all these fucking names. I had no idea it was called the Sperry.
Get her in the Sperry.
Do you think it was because
like,
it's
what?
the spare? I don't know why you call a turret a spare. Because it was spelled Sperry.
Yeah,
So, yeah, who knows?
I don't know. It was a nice idea to put her into one of these situations.
But let's also point out that she... I don't know why they needed her to go down into the Sperry.
We're just getting rid of her.
Yeah, but...
So for takeoff to make sure she
But they
wasn't
could have
in the way.
They could have just strapped her in somewhere.
Didn't have a spot.
I don't know.
The one dude was taking the spot, and
I guess
women are like black people. They're just gonna get to the back of the bus.
Right.
Okay.
or the bottom, I guess, in this case.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is she's like, all right, somebody has to. Jesus, I knew that was
Bless
coming.
you. For you have sinned.
Jesus Christ. Fuck, I lost because I sneezed. Oh, yeah.
Someone has to.
So she has to go down to the Sperry, and she's like, somebody hold this fucking bag. It's top secret. Do not open it and look in it.
With no room left for her package, she reluctantly allows the only crew member friendly to her.
Which makes no sense, because there's room for her to hold that package
There
on her lap,
is. That's
right?
true.
That's why I was like, okay, the package is something.
Something important. But that was part of the story too.
Yeah, but I guess what I not that I had any idea what it was,
A
but I was
plot
like,
point.
A plot point. Yeah, it was going to be like a MacGuffin to the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's kind of stupid, but whatever. So they put her down into the Sperry.
And they give the package to Staff Sergeant Walter Quaid to store it.
Yep.
While stuck in the turret, Maud sees some sort of creature clinging to the underside of the bomber's wing.
Now this is right out of that Twilight Zone episode, but it was cool how it wasn't in her. You thought it was in her head at the start, but then when the other guys are seeing it, I was like, all right, that's kind of cool.
You weren't sure until that. Yeah.
Until that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, on the bomber's wing. She reports it, but most of the crew, except Private Beckel, who sees it too, dismisses her.
Yep.
When she is allowed to leave the turret, the hatch malfunctions, trapping her inside. When she reacts in a poor
Indignantly.
way to the crew's comments about her situation, they abandon their attempt to open the hatch and the comm is cut off. So she's stuck in this failing little ball, this turret, and she has no way to get out. She's uncomfortable.
I was gonna say, it sounds like my sperms.
She can't get to her
stuck in
package.
a failing ball.
Well, I know how it feels not to be able to get to my package sometimes. So it's heartbreaking.
Just think about Chloe Grace Moretz and you'll be able to get to your package.
Eventually.
But also, so she has her arm in a sling. Was that ever determined? Why? Or was there ever any reason for why her arm's in a sling? Because it's not broken.
It didn't happen during her freaking out about the thing.
Well, she cut.
Did she come into the
She comes into it, yep, with her arm in a sling.
Okay, then that would be revealed later.
I do not remember. So you'll have to remind me. I do not remember about that.
After seeing a Japanese fighter appearing and disappearing close to the bomber, she is abruptly attacked by the creature, a gremlin. Wink, wink. She fights it off, but ends up injured.
Yep.
The thing fucking punctures the glass with like its claw or something.
Yeah.
And
It looks like kind of a mutated bat. But I did like where it opens.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it opens its mouth up and it's got like a tongue that looks like a fucking vulva, and it's got like ridges of teeth all over its tongue. That was pretty neat. I thought that was cool.
Definitely an enlarged, almost like a vampire bat type thing. And that's what I'm glad they went with, kind of realism.
Yeah.
Like broached it.
Well, let's say there's a point in this movie where it, like I put in my notes, it finally becomes the movie it was meant to be, where they were like, pseudo realism, out the fucking window. And as soon as it went out the window, I was like,
Crazy
woo,
action.
great.
Yeah. Okay. She fights it off, but ends up injured.
She,
But that
cut
was
her,
just their cut, right?
yeah, she cut her shoulder. Oh, and remember she was trying to hold the hatchet. She busted her finger.
Oh, she messed
That
up her
was fucking
finger. That was
cool.
good.
Her finger's like bent this way. It was great.
She ties that up.
Yeah.
When the crew contacts her again to ask what happened, a radio message comes in telling them that a Maude Garrett doesn't exist and is not registered to the flight. When they intend to take her out for questioning, Maude deliberately jams the turret's gears and prepares to defend herself when the Japanese aircraft reappears and attacks. Taking control of the turret, she shoots it down, winning the crew's grudging respect.
Yep.
Begrudging?
I think it'd be grudging. Begrudging, yeah. I think it would be begrudging.
All I can say about that scene is it was good. I there was a lot of tenseness in this movie, and I liked it. It was like on her part, like you felt for
Yeah.
her, and you were like, she's in this horrible situation. She's getting always put down, and I'm just like, I couldn't imagine being of the mind that I am currently in that time, and seeing it happen to all women, all black people, all minorities.
How you are now, you'd be like, holy
Yeah.
fucking Christ, to be disgusted by it. But I mean, yeah, back in the day,
But it's a
they
different
just-
time,
Women are what they are in Afghanistan now, like less than dogs.
But they're changing.
Who is Afghanistan?
Yeah, what's the Taliban? They're like,
Yeah.
Actually, we're changed now.
You know what I heard today? That's
we'll
great.
let the ladies walk without supervision.
People said, how was the Taliban not censored or kicked off of Twitter while Donald Trump was? And fucking Twitter answered back, because they follow the rules. And you're like, how fucking sad is it that Trump can't follow rules that the goddamn Taliban can? I read that and I was like, that sums it up in a nutshell. But back to Hitler in the clouds.
While continuing to talk with the crew, Maude admits that she is actually married and boarded the bomber under her maiden name, but refuses to reveal her mission, citing its secrecy.
And top secret, yep.
When she sees the gremlin again, as it continues to sabotage the bomber, that's a poorly worded sentence. Eventually, Private Dorn cites it too, but the others disregard him. Suspecting Maude's assignment, it is one of those movies where it's just like, yeah, keep going. Suspecting Maude's assignment is the cause of their misfortunes, Reeves gives the order to open the bag, which contains a baby.
So this was stupid. And this is where I was like, okay, this is dumb. So my question was, we discover one, there's a baby in this thing. Now let's remember that
This gets effed up later on,
but let's remember that they've been like banking and flying and
Yeah.
fighting
Oh,
and shooting
even-
and
yeah.
it's freezing and it's loud. No one's heard this kid. Has it just slept the whole fucking time?
well, she broaches that. She says that she gave it a sedative.
But it
They asked the nurse to give the sedative.
it made no noise. I guess is my point. I was like, that's stupid.
Except when you open it and they're like,
and it went goo goo gaga. And then what? So then she also admits that, well, it's Walt that opens it and Walt that defends it vehemently. And then we open it up. When they open it up, Walt's like, "Oh, that's my baby," and
Yeah.
she's like, "It's Walt's baby."
Maude and Quaid's extramarital child.
Yep. And I guess what I was confused by was, did Walt know? Well, actually, I wrote it down. How did Walt know that was his baby? If he said, why didn't you tell me when she admitted that it was Walt's baby?
He didn't.
And that she didn't tell him about the pregnancy.
He didn't.
He didn't want.
She didn't tell him.
But how did Walt know it was his baby?
He
Did he just assume?
maybe. Forced to confess, Maude explains that she was severely mistreated by her husband. She has an affair with Quaid and inadvertently got pregnant.
Typical woman.
Someone betrayed her. Rob at
I thought you were gonna give my
becausepodcast.com.
address. You're like a fucking feminist on his
I'll
porch.
give them your neighbor's address.
She is the mean. My neighbor is an awesome lady, but man, would
I
not
saw
wanna-
the other flag.
I would not. Oh, the Trump and the
Fuck
Trump
Trudeau.
flag. Fuck Trudeau. Yeah,
I
but
do agree. Fuck Trudeau.
Nobody would mess with my neighbor, man. She is hardcore.
I
great.
wouldn't want to have to live next to her. Someone betrayed her to her husband, who, not your neighbor, who came to the base deciding not to tell Quaid. Maud faked her assignment to get away from her husband, who she says would have killed her in his rage.
Yep.
Now, she says during this that he beat her up right before this. So that would be the
But nothing was wrong with her arm.
the arm
But nothing was wrong with it.
and the bruise.
But nothing was wrong with her arm.
Yeah, but
All right.
it's
Also, this kid's clearly about a year old.
Women can go through childbirth. Nothing is wrong with anything else when there's pain, except for that time of the month.
They break their arms during their periods?
No, I'm just
Awesome.
I'm just saying comparatively, if you go through childbirth, pain is nothing.
I think pain is everything during childbirth.
Other pain.
Other pain.
We've
also
been
this
there.
kid-
We've been there during childbirth.
This kid's about
We know how
a year old, right?
It's crazy.
I'd say between 7 months and a
No.
year old. It's not a newborn baby.
It's never a newborn baby. They can't. There's
Yeah, but
there's
still,
there's
I just-
issues there.
I get, and again, this is where, and it was my fault because I was like, this is stupid. The whole baby thing threw me for a loop because I thought the movie was still trying to be pseudo realistic, and it wasn't
was
until
fine.
it doesn't make any fucking sense. This kid makes no noise. This kid should be dead because it's freezing to fucking death and being jostled around and saying like it's in a
Okay.
fucking whack-a-mole.
One, the kid was given shots by the nurses.
Okay, yeah.
That kid is like
Zone
having
the
the
fuck out.
best
It's gonna
time of his life.
You've had a fucking baby. They shit. They puke. They stink.
2. It's in a basket
That
full
it's
of
shit all over the inside of.
blanket. That's warm enough. 3, we don't see it's below the waist.
We don't. Maybe he's only half a baby, so I needs half a blanket.
No, I'm talking about like the diaper. Like, who cares at that point? I'm sure she changed his diaper
would
right before the
stink.
trip.
Babies stink.
Okay, but by this time it was what? Half an hour into the movie, an hour into the movie.
I've been in the middle of a dog. I'd be shitting my pants in the middle
Babies
of a
can
dog
go an
fight.
hour without pooping, not often.
That's right. It's like me when I'm in
Just
my
giving you
90s.
answers. I'm being the devil's advocate. Okay. Just as Captain Reeves turns back to the airbase, 3 Mitsubishi A6M Zero fighters. I'm glad that they have these.
Mitsubishi must have given some money for this movie.
Attack the Gremlin.
No,
Attack and the Gremlin
they're dealing with
boards the bomber,
Yeah.
injures Quaid, and kidnaps the baby.
I don't know
That's
why.
when it becomes.
Well, nope. For me, it started getting into stupid territory. I was like, all right, cool. This is how I want this movie to be. When, oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. The gremlin steals the baby, brings it out onto the wing or below the wing, like below the engine, and is like holding it like ha 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 ha, like a fucking goblin under a bridge
My assumption is the gremlin can smell that it's
because it shit its
a baby.
pants.
No, but a baby something, like that maternal. Like maybe the gremlin
It
is
was a maternal gremlin.
maybe the gremlin is a woman, like a female. Sorry,
Then to be a grim woman.
Latte.
The woman. Latte. Grim latte. Remember that girl gremlin in Gremlins with the fucking hair and the boobs and the lips?
Yep, there you go, grem latte.
But so it's when she kicks out the fucking glass, or no, sorry, the glass had been blown away, and she decides I'm getting my baby, not without my daughter, and she goes climbing out of the turret.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Go on.
Okay. Fuck. Kidnaps the baby.
That's the next fucking part where she sees it with the fucking baby.
Sure. When the when the gremlin appears before her with the baby in the bag, Maud exits the turret. You're welcome.
By and she's like walking across the fucking plane, hanging on to get over to it.
And fires her handgun at it, driving it off, but leaving the bag hanging precariously
So stupid.
from the engine nacelle.
So, and this is where I was like, okay, this is the type of movie this is,
yeah.
because you're like, that baby be dead, get frozen to death.
Most
no way
women would be
she's-
like, "Oh,
There's no way she's hanging onto a plane. She fucking kicks out the plane. She's like fucking walking it, like holding on. I'm like, dude, you know how fast that plane's going? You know how out of fucking oxygen you'd be up there? So once I saw that, I was like, okay, now I know the type of movie we're watching. Now I'm enjoying it for the movie. It was I wish it had gone, not like, but I wish it had started taking itself. And it's not that it's not taking itself seriously, but it's, you know what I mean by it's just
stayed
being
on the same level.
yeah, the same level of absurdity, because it was kind of stupidly absurd to think that's going to happen. I wish it had been more, you know, like one of the guys went out on the wing to shoot at the gremlin, or went out of the wing to look for a gremlin. If they had done that, I'd been okay. Now I get that it's
To
absurd.
be fair, it was badass.
What was badass?
The climb under the wing and all that
You're
stuff.
just saying that because you like this fucking
I love this
spaghetti
movie.
Moretz.
It's really good. Risking a perilous climb, Maud retrieves her child and reboards the aircraft through the opening for the ball turret. By the way, which has been shot off.
Now
That was cool. She gets out of the turret, starts climbing through. The thing gets shot off and falls, which means she would have died if she would have stayed there. Coincidental. That worked. I like
what
that.
happens. But so have they already blown up the Japanese planes yet in this part? I don't think so. Because there's a part where, and this is where I was like, all right, now I'm on board. I wish the whole movie had been like this. She falls out of the plane.
What do you want her to do? I'm getting on the plane.
No, but
like,
she falls out of the plane. It's supposed to be this big dramatic. She falls out of the plane. The fucking Mitsubishi A11 microwave, whatever the fuck it is, explodes underneath their plane. That explosion, the force of that explosion shoots her back up, and she goes right through the hole.
the gremlin attacks again, throwing Technical Sergeant Taggart out of the aircraft before Maud can evict it.
Evict it. That's a nice way of saying it.
When Reeves, Lieutenant Finch, and Dorn are killed by Japanese gunfire, Maud takes command and brings the bomber roughly. See, they completely skipped that part.
Yeah. And that was great. When that happened, I'm like, oh man, this is dumb.
Yeah,
but
because
it's a lot of fun.
she has it's the baby that drops, isn't it?
No,
And she's like, oh,
no. I think like the plane banks or the gremlin hits or something and knocks her out of that hole. And then the explosion happens and she gets blown right back up to get back in there.
I really thought that the baby fell,
I don't think so.
and she goes,
Maybe, but I do not think
and then
so.
she in the blast
I thought
blasts
it
her
was.
back up.
I thought it was when she was fighting.
I
the
could be
gremlin.
wrong too. It's just memory. Memory sucks.
Watch Hitler in the Clouds and tell us if we're wrong.
They're gonna find something
Trying
called
for the
Hitler
will
in the
They're
clouds.
like, this movie isn't fucking. This isn't called Chloe Grace Moretz.
Nothing's like what they say.
Also, fuck off with the name Chloe Grace Moretz. Like, fuck you. Just call yourself Chloe Moretz.
Watch that be like her actual name, and it's like it's not one of those ones that they turn into like Paris Hilton.
Oh.
I think that's real, but
Watch her.
you know what I mean, though. There's a lot of actresses that are like they created their name.
Their stage name.
Yes.
Are you as bored of this movie as I am?
No, I loved it. I'm just finding where I am.
Then they crash land on some island. Who cares what?
It's true.
Also, the crew was kind of made up of, not token, but
New Zealand black dude.
so Samoan, effectively, I guess, or New Zealand black dude, or
New Zealand is separate than Samoan.
Okay,
as far as I understand, because Samoan is its own island.
okay,
think.
well, so yeah, New Zealand black dude, effectively,
Yeah.
Scottish or Irish guy,
Yeah, it's very.
bravado American good guy, good boy with a Midwestern accent.
Okay, yes. The
cowboy
boyfriend.
guy.
Yeah.
No, Walt was a straight laced American dude,
Yeah.
and then there's Reeves, who's the grizzled
Pilot?
Sky Captain, the
Yeah.
pilot, Grizzle Sky. So they were all. It felt like they were hitting.
And the young officer in the back.
He had an accent too,
Yeah, I don't remember where he was from. I thought it was like Midwestern or something, or
be.
like
but it just felt like they were.
Chicago or New York.
One of those guys was probably gay. I thought that was going to come up in the story so they could tick that fucking box.
Yeah, I don't think it came up at all.
Luckily, the majority of them were just fucking. As soon as she gets out of that turret, they're just offed.
So they get out of the plane because it.
Crashes.
Because the oxygen tanks.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So they have to run.
Yeah, the
and
oxygen
it
tanks are on
explodes.
fire. Yep.
They do the slow. Anyway, the gremlin reappears and tries to snatch the baby one more time, but Maud catches up and finally goes
Beats
fucking
the shit
berserk.
out of it.
She just has enough.
And what's great is
It's
this
a
is
fight scene.
This is where this is the direction this movie should have been in the whole time. Like Stubby Spaghetti's she's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this goddamn gremlin up.
At this
And
point, she's
like,
a superhero.
She rips off her fucking
Yeah.
sleeve and she's like, fuck this gremlin. And I'm like, awesome, dude. This is how it should be going.
This is the Captain Marvel we need.
Right?
Seriously.
I'd prefer. Oh shit, that's good too. I'd prefer Spaghetti Moretz to who's the annoying one now?
Brie.
Brie Larson.
Nah.
That chick is a bitch.
She and other survivors watch as Fool's Errand burns and
Spilling
explodes.
the tea.
It's not tea.
So, I'd never watch this again. It was fine.
I might watch it again if my wife wanted to. I'm not the type of person that watches movies over and over. I can't. I just get bored.
I like movies that I like or TV shows that I like. I can watch over and over again. I like to watch over and over again. But
Sliders.
you know what? Sliders
Absolutely
was an okay
love
show, man.
Sliders. It's one of my favorites of all time.
I can watch. I don't know why, but I can watch Trailer Park Boys over and over and over again.
Never spoke to me. Not you. I mean,
I was gonna say they never speak to me. I'm like, how dare you insult our
Yeah.
Canadian Foundation? Trailer
save it
Park
for the
Boys.
show, Rob.
But I'll never watch it again. It was fine, but when I saw the end, and who was written by, and who was directed by, I was like, oh. And then I started replaying it back in my head, and there were a couple parts that I could tell had been rewritten. So this movie was written by Max Landis, and if you don't know who Max
I
Landis
do know
is,
who Max Landis is.
Yeah,
He's a
he's-
comic book writer, right?
no,
Or did some comic book writing?
And I don't think he's done. He might have done some comic,
sure
but
he has.
he's more famous for he wrote like Chronicle, and he wrote
That was
I think
good.
American Ultra. Chronicle was great. Every movie that he's done afterwards has been total shit.
Okay.
And he's apparently a huge douchebag, like sexual
Predator?
Jesus Christ, like Harvey Weinstein. what's the
Predator.
word? Predator. There's a word for like predator. Like, and he's fully admitted to he dumped a girl after he gave her body issues and made her feel terrible about herself. Like, he's a real scumbag.
Yeah, there are guys like that, and those people should be
But
dealt with.
so he got kind of Me Too'd out of Hollywood, which is good because he's an asshole.
Until now.
What's fucked up is this movie was directed by a woman, and they say that because they got it from Max Landis got found all the shit about him, so they significantly rewrote it, like she rewrote it and put it out as hers. It felt like a lot of the, and I don't want to call them female empowerment, it was more kind of female equalization. You know what I mean? Like, not so much empowerment, but she was seen as just another, once she proved herself, she was seen as just another member of the team. Like, yeah, she's a dame, and sure, she's hot, but this chick can hold her own.
The team of three.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get what
at
you
the
mean.
start, it was all about this bitch. I'd fuck this bitch. Oh, great ass.
Unfortunately, even if she escapes and goes to wherever, she's just going to be looked down upon continually.
I
It
guess
doesn't change anything except
were
for
some
her
parts-
internal image.
there were some parts that felt like this is what they took from Max Landis and made it better for a woman.
Yeah.
And then there were some parts that felt like Max Landis, like at the end where she just
for
decides
sure.
to start breastfeeding.
I thought that was
I thought that was really
That-
stupid.
no, I wouldn't say stupid, just an obvious add-on for empowerment.
'Cause
Like
she
to show
breastfeeds?
female empowerment. Yeah.
I don't get how
be
that's
like-
empowering, though.
Fuck you, I'm just going to breastfeed now because I got a baby and it needs it.
And
I'm
maybe I'm
surprised-
totally fucking wrong. I've never had a problem when women breastfeed in public. Don't care. And maybe it's because I don't see that as empowerment.
I'm surprised they didn't use a body double and do it like all out and show the boob. like
me,
flop
that
out the
would-
boob.
yeah,
No,
would make
because
no
that's
difference.
another sign of empowerment.
That you'll show your
like,
tits. I thought
not
that's supposed to be.
well,
pornography.
you're not going and going, hey everyone, I'm breastfeeding. Blah, 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 blah." No, but I mean, like, there's some that are like, I don't care, I gotta breastfeed. I'm gonna whip out my tit, and I don't care who sees it. Whereas
okay.
in this, she was kind of like quickly
It
latch
just-
on, like
Yeah, it just felt like
she
pointless.
almost
to be
hiding
there.
it, but it's just like, but not hiding it. Just I don't
But
know.
I get, I just because it, was
depends on the
done by
person.
Max Landis, I started playing through my head like that guy's a scumbag. I wonder. Which...
I doubt he put that in there.
No. But what I mean is there were some parts that I wonder what was Max Landis. I wonder what was rewritten to not be Max Landis.
I bet most of the stuff that was against women
was his.
was his and left in there because it makes sense. Like, put it in his words. That's perfect because that's what you want.
Yeah. I guess I was just surprised that a woman would take a Max Landis script. You know, I could see a douchebag bro guy.
But that's
do it.
empowerment
Yeah, maybe.
in itself because, like, you take this douchebag script that's very douchey, you change it,
Change it.
and you make
Maybe.
it empowering to women.
I just I would never watch it again. It was fine. I just not for me. But
I would like to see Landis's version just for the comparison.
maybe
Snyder cut.
I'll watch it as long as we get Chloe Grace
as-
Moretz dressed as Hitler.
Hitler in the clouds. Thank you for watching. No, what you so? Did
I'm
you
all ready
like?
to fucking sign off.
Did you like it?
No, but I didn't hate it.
So you're a mid-level.
I give it a solid 5, and I'll never watch it again.
I
but
love
it
how our
didn't bore the
scores
shit
are
out of
like out of 100, and then they're out of 10, and then they're thumbs up, and then,
It used to be boobs, didn't it? No, whores. Used to be whores.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. That's very bad for empowerment.
Why?
It's horrible. It's
How is being if someone
horrible.
wants to be a sex worker? See, that's where I
Yeah,
think you and I
but
are
you're
different.
not
I
supposed
don't
to call
see-
them a whore.
But that's what they are.
No, they're not.
No,
They're
because I
sex
think
workers.
you're seeing it as I think you're seeing whore as a bad thing.
Yes. Not
what
not the job, just the name.
But what if it's not about whore literally means like
I
sex
know,
workers, person who gets paid for sex.
But you could still say the same thing about retarded. And
But retarded is not what it is, though.
Because you're not
You-
supposed to say it anymore.
But retarded is not what it is.
But we're not supposed to use it in other terms now.
Okay,
so
I
it's
guess,
just like
and I think that's where the difference is. I don't see breastfeeding as empowerment. I see women who are like, yeah, I'm a goddamn sex worker. If they want to call themselves a whore, call themselves a prostitute, sex worker, and I am proud of what I do.
How
I
is
see
it-
that as empowering.
how is it empowering to call yourself a whore when
Because
I'm
you
taking
own
back
it.
the word?
Yeah, you
No,
own it.
No.
Yes, it fucking is.
That's like okay.
What if a whore was breastfeeding?
I'm
That'd
gonna-
be double empowerment.
I might get in trouble for this. We might
Get him in trouble.
trouble all around for this, but the N word. I don't feel like black people should be taking it back and using it.
Good point,
That's
but I'm
my
not.
opinion, though.
But I'm not black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
the
get
same
that.
way that I'm not.
That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an opinion.
No. I understand, but I guess the difference for me is I don't see breastfeeding as empowerment. I see that as kids need to eat, but I see if a woman chooses to, or a man, whoever decides, I'm going to be a sex worker. That's an empowering thing for the same as like transgender
agree.
people or gay people who come out. That's
Completely.
very empowering. You know
I
what I mean?
completely agree. It's just the word. It's a derogatory term. We should not use derogatory terms. We should not take them back and use them just on one side of the thing because that's completely what's the word? One person can do it, one person can't.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Contradictory.
Dictory,
So it's like
hickory, dictory.
that's why I feel
clock.
personally, if a black person is using the N word, it's like
I get
that's not
uncomfortable
you're
with
not doing yourself a service.
But I guess, to some people, they may find it empowering. I don't know. The point is, Shadow in the Clouds has Hitler.
No, it
and-
doesn't.
And
well,
a
maybe
gremlin.
in that world,
Gremlin Hitler.
in
You
that
didn't see if he had a
world,
little
Hitler
mustache
might exist, but
when he was grabbing for the baby.
no, don't do that. No,
No, you have to put it up.
no. We're not even gonna go near that.
You're the one dreaming about Chloe Spaghetti Moretz.
Oh, every day. Thank you for watching Because Movies.
I bet she'd have no problem being a whore.
Oh my goodness. BecauseMoviesPodcast.com. Please send your letters to Rob at BecauseMoviesPodcast.com.
Give you the name of my lawyer.
Honestly, the best place to talk to us is Reddit.
Don't downvote us.
r/because movie.
My nudes are art, and they help me get empowered.
I do never
I do never.
I do
Me
never want to see that again.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Dance.
Dance. Yeah, who's fucking not being empowered? Dance, monkey.
No.